Hey, cool gamer, how you doing? How is everybody in this little bit of a later live? I appreciate everybody being here. Well, I'm sure they're just coming in. Um, hey Sandy, hey Gladys, hey Amber. Uh, I wanted to see one thing here. Hmm. Okay. Hey Pamela, hey Rena, hey Amanda. What did I just do? So, Amanda, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There is no Lucian updates that I see other than some people are really starting to suspect the family might have something to do with it. But other than that, I have not seen anything new. And like I said, Amanda might know better because, she lives there. But we do have a couple cases I want to talk about. I want to update a little bit on the Cleo or Pookie, as we like to call him, Abston. Was the man that killed Eliza Fletcher. So I don't, this is awful, nothing new. I know, right? So Amanda confirmed it, then there is nothing new about Lucian's disappearance, which is now well over a week. How do you not have any info on a 4-year-old? I don't understand, but that does tell me though that law enforcement might be holding some things in their back pocket. Yeah, exactly, Amanda. It would help speculation. But I do have a little bit of hope in that because I think that they are being tight-lipped for a reason. I do. And I think that part of it might be because of family. Law enforcement said they're pulling back, and I know that family has pulled back. They continue to raise funds. It's just a very weird situation. But I do know many people are still searching. But anyway, so Eliza Fletcher, I don't think, the more I read about this, so we keep seeing charges are being added to Cleo Abston, right? Who his whole family is in there. It's a little family reunion in prison. But yeah, so people were doing their own background checks and are of the family and are coming away going, they had something to do with it. So I have not paid for a background check because people are doing it. So I just read those things. But oh, that's awesome, Gladys. Well, I'm just glad you're listening. Um, so I don't think that Cleo essayed Eliza, and I'll tell you why, because charges have been added and updated for him so much, and that still isn't part of the charge that I think now they would have added that charge. He's been in court several times. He's due back again the 28th, I believe it was. So they did just add another weapons charge to the September of 2021 charge. So I've been putting some things together, and I want to talk about Alicia Franklin is the young woman's name who was assaulted on September 2021, who then had the DNA kit, backlogged until September. So here's the thing is that a couple things. Well, let's just go to this thing. All right, let's read about Alicia. This is just easier to do it this way. I will say that I did put it together, and Gwendolyn Brown, who is who Cleo lived with, and who owned the GMC terrain that he took Eliza in, is in fact related, and I believe it's her daughter, and I've confirmed this, to Sandra Brown. Sandra Brown was the woman who allegedly Pookie's father murdered somebody over. Hey, Rhodey Gale. So this whole family, it goes back so far. It's insane. But they are related. And that is very weird. It's just weird. Okay. So this is the young woman that has come forward. She did just file a suit against the city of Memphis. So this says that let me put this full screen. Hey, Kellyanne. Yeah, Amanda, I know it's mind blowing because the weird thing about that is that Dad has been in prison since I believe it was like 2000, and the murder took place in 2010, so it was right after that. Um, but they've clearly had communication since then. I mean, how did he end up at Gwendolyn's house? It's just weird. All right, so here's what we know about the woman of the 2021 attack from Clio. It says a woman who said she was, essayed last year and by the man who was killed Eliza Fletcher, says the police Memphis did not properly act. We know that. So they're suing. It says they met. So what happened was Alicia met Cleo on a dating app, which was actually Plenty of Fish last year, and they talked for a month. Hold on one second. I need to just tell my children to be quiet for 1 second. They need to be sleeping. Wait. Hey, Princess Megan. Wait, what, Sally? What? He confessed to the Delphi girls' murders? No. Get out of here. Wow. I'm going to have to look at that. Wow. So these people met. So that just distracted me. Sorry. That caught me off. That was crazy. All right. So Alicia met Cleo on Plenty of Fish a month before they met in person on September 21st, 2021 at the Lakes at Ridgeway Apartments. Now, you all remember the Lakes at Ridgeway Apartments is Gwendolyn Brown's, is her home. That's where Cleo was living. So this puts Cleo living with Gwendolyn for at least a year. And so they met there. Uh, she said that he showed up. They had planned to go out to dinner, but when he showed up, he pulled a gun on her immediately and forced her into a vacant apartment. So one thing we know about Cleo so far is that his MO is he does take them somewhere. He doesn't ever do it. From what we've seen in the last two cases, he does not do it wherever he has his victim. So she says that Abston claimed was a maintenance worker at the complex. I believe that was probably where he worked for that cleaning company. She says that he blindfolded her with his t-shirt and threatened to kill her. It said that Abston then walked Franklin through the apartment and out a back door to his vehicle, where she says he, essayed her in the back seat. And it says he was charged a month after for the Elizas for the 2021 incident and pled not guilty. It couldn't have been with this month. Okay. Franklin said in a suit that she tried to stop Abston by telling him she was pregnant, but that he seemed unmoved. Not shocking that he was unmoved. Oh, we don't know what he confessed to. Wait, Pamela, with who's? Oh, with. Oh, don't worry, Pamela. We're not going to talk about that because I got to dig into that. I got to see what all of that is about. Um, but I'm glad you told me about it, Salian. But yeah, Salian. I just called you Salian. My brain is like, okay. So all of this happened. She said she tried to tell him she was pregnant. She went immediately to the doctor, to the hospital. They did all of that and whatever, did the kit. It's been waiting for 49 weeks. She did, however, say that she told the officers came, but they took no physical evidence directly from the crime scene itself, which is mind boggling. She even gave him his name, his telephone number, and a description of his vehicle and his social media accounts, including the dating app that they met on. What? Days after the assault, Franklin, which is the woman, was asked to look at a photo lineup of the possible suspects. The lawsuit says the police included an older photograph of Epstein in a lineup, but that Franklin could not identify her attacker. For months, Franklin was given no update about her case. According to the lawsuit, police sent the kit to Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, but did not ask for the processing of it to be expedited. Now, here's what I think happened. I think, no, that's fine, Sally. I think that he probably got to her, because if it was a few days later that they brought her in for a lineup and she couldn't remember just because it was an old picture, like I get, right? Like hair changes, but your face doesn't typically change. No, Sally, you're fine. Face doesn't typically change, but I think because remember, she lived where he lived in the same apartment complexes, because that's where Gwendolyn lived. I think that he probably got to her, or she freaked out. That's the only thing I can think of. The fact that the police never took any evidence is mind-blowing. I don't know whether she'll win this suit. I think there's probably a good chance, but you know, it's nuts. It's nuts. Um, it didn't even get touched, you all. The kit that she submitted in September 2021 didn't even get touched till June. And the match was not even sent or determined until September 5th, 3 days after he was already accused of forcing Fletcher into his SUV. And it says a cause and manner of death have not been released. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. So I think that we were right on about Eliza fighting, because I think we would have had some sort of charges for that yet, unless they're keeping that under wraps. However, this is so frustrating. Okay. Pookie's mother issued a statement finally, right? She's been hiding out. And she does mention that all three of her boys are in prison, which, yeah. So I do think that James Abston, which if you didn't know who he is in prison for murdering his ex-girlfriend. Like, if all of my kids end up in prison, I'm going to do some self-evaluation. I hope so, Amber. I mean, how is she supposed to feel important when like, the only thing is I'm hoping now that there is a spotlight, so to speak, on TBI, that we will see that some of these backlog cases are going to start popping up and DNA is going to be checked because of this. But so Virgie is the boy's mother, and she spoke out 2 days ago, and it was rather disgusting. And let's read what she has to say about her son, Cleo. I can't even with these people. Hey, Lori, somebody make it make sense. This is okay. Here we go. The Memphis mother of I got to get my voice on because we're supposed to sympathize with her. The Memphis mother of accused murder, Cleotha Henderson, who has a decades-long rap sheet. Keep in mind, he was 11 when his rap sheet started, and convictions for a string of heinous offenses. Now he's in for charges of, we know that already, kidnapping, murder, SA. She says her son is innocent, according to the new report. Innocent. All right, you ready? This gets better. He's just a good person, kind, lovable. Hold on a second. So you heard that correctly. She said, Brenda, yep, I'm going to talk about that. Yep. He's kind and lovable. All right, then. Kind and lovable. I want you all to look at her car, too, okay? See her car? That might not be her car, but there's something interesting. And we will get to that, okay? The Debbie case, because that's mind-boggling. So according to mom, he's kind and lovable, despite his felonies, and all of that. We know all of that. Hold on one second. She said, I talked to him and he said he didn't do it. Well, then let him out now. The mother told the outlet. He said, they're trying to put me in on some stuff, mom. Okay. It says Fox News visited Apston's apartment on the outskirts of Memphis earlier this month, but neighbors claimed she had moved away. Very interesting. I would gather that she moved away after her son brutally murdered a woman. Her other son, Mario, which we know is the brother, has served felony time for possessing weapons, and now he's in jail for 20. Oh, wow. 27 grams of fentanyl and a loaded gun. Wow. Wow. Wow, he is. And she says, I understand that Henderson's record goes back to 1995. Oh, excuse me, when he was about 13 years old. She goes on to say that, what did she say? It took Cleo from 15 months to get around to pleading guilty for the crime he confessed to on May 29th, 2000. That was the kidnapping. But she goes on to say some crazy, not like, and we're going to move on, but you guys, some of the wording she put, she said that juvie gave him no choice, that they locked him in there, and that, what else did she say? Oh, that he she says that there was like that he didn't do this. He didn't do this. Um so the sandals left at the scene with his DNA that he wore the day before clearly was somebody planted them. Like but here's the deal. I don't think mom had much to do in their life, because I think she's defending him because she really does. I mean, he's been in prison 22. He absolutely should still be in prison. And God, I hope Eliza's family sues the crap out of the TBI. But so I want to show you one other thing, and then we're going to move on to Debbie. And there's a reason I want to share this to you, though. I was doing some research, and so I looked up where Gwendolyn lived, right? Like Ridgeway or whatever it is, those apartment complex. And then I also looked up where Virgie lived, and I also looked up where Mario has lived. And there are so many assault cases that took place near where he worked, which was Melco Theater on Germantown Parkway. So he worked there, and there are so many assaults that have taken place in the last year on those roads. And so I've tried to go through and look at the ones that take place around the time where it seems to be his MO, between that 4 o'clock and that 8 a.m. time frame. And remember, I told you about the girl that was killed in July and August. There was 2 women killed, which again, there's no suspects in. They were African American, and one man found both of them, and they were shot and assaulted, hey criminality, and left at a cemetery. The interesting part about that is that it fits his MO for one, and he was seen drive, or the criminal was seen driving away in a dark sedan. Well, I'm having Kathy Joe pull up cars because in one of the interviews that Virgie did, she is driving a black sedan. I want to see the make of the car, and I want to compare it with what is on the video or the detectives have of these two girls, because it just it fits within his 10-20 mile radius, and it also, he doesn't have a car. He uses people's cars. Obviously, he used Gwendolyn's car for his crime against Eliza. So could he have used his mother's car for these I mean, he doesn't just decide to do one crime a year. Like, it doesn't happen. So that's kind of where we're at on that, is that I am still putting this together because I do think there's many more victims. If he was on Plenty of Fish, it could be endless. It could be endless. So, all right. So now I know what you're all waiting for. We were criminality. I'm more talking Cleotha. And again, I have looked into the husband up and down. There is absolutely zero connection that I found to him. I just do not get the vibe that he had anything to do with this. I don't. I just don't. Pookie's too stupid. Like, it's still mind-boggling to me that he had sandals on. But if he was drugged up and he just didn't, but I think he totally, you know, has many victims, many victims. It's just really sad. Hey, Gold Star Mom. Oh no, I'll be praying for you. Yeah, criminality for sure. When I saw the roads that matched ones that, key people in his life lived on, I was like, yeah, yeah. So my hope is that DNA will start coming back for all that stuff. Okay, so let's talk about Debbie Collier. How long has he been out of prison? Thanks, Brenda. I try. I have a lot of people behind the scenes that, and I'm not going to call them my team, they're just friends that help me out for things. Kathy Joe is amazing. If you all haven't, like, an amazing researcher with degrees that I didn't even know she had. And so she answers all my law questions and stuff. He's been out of prison, I believe, since October of 2020. And it wasn't because of, no problem, Beatlemaniac. It wasn't because of COVID. He had, yeah, my research team, he got out because he had to fulfill his 85% of his 22-year sentence or something like that. So he got out. But but the thing is, yeah, criminality. The thing is, he shouldn't have gotten out, because the problem is we are not, she is Gladys. They're not looking at juvenile records when they're considering, like, sentencing, because if they had, he had 16 charges from the age of 11 years old. I think they would have factored that. Oh, I would hope that they would have factored in that into the sentence, but who knows? So his MO doesn't seem to be murder that we know of. But again, I think Eliza fought hard, hard. I think she was a spur of the moment thing for him. I think he worked nights on for a reason. That's for sure. Yeah, 11, Diana. 11 is when his crime spree started. And again, I mean, look, his dad was, it absolutely, absolutely does glitter. Thank you. And the problem is that the same thing's going to happen with Lyric Woods, and I'm afraid, and what is it, Devin Clark? So that 17-year-old still out there. I don't think they'll try him as a juvie, but who knows? Yeah, again, they dropped the ball there. So if you're interested in where I'm finding these cases, just in case you guys want to know and you want to look up some things, because it does take a long time, it is hold on one second. Here we go. This is where I get it, is the Memphis data public safety thing. And then I filter it out. And so you can see here, if I go down far enough or up far enough, 921 Oliver Ave. Now that is not where the apartment where this Alicia met him. This is just where they ended up. That is Elisa's case. That was at 7 a.m. However, up Lamar Ave is another location that I was able to pin him at. That's the same day at 11:30 p.m. He's hooked to a South Mendenhall Road. Look what happened on August 26th. South Mendenhall Road. Kidnapping happens. So yeah, so I filter these all out based on kidnapping and abduction, and that's kind of how I get that information. Okay, so let's talk about Debbie. I do not know how to say her last name. You know how I'm with names. I'm going to say Collier. I got a legal question on Lucia case. Yeah, Amanda, sure. And I'll shoot it out to Kathy Joe. She always, somehow she just comes up with the answers. Debbie's case is absolutely tragic. Brief overview, and then we'll look at some things. And I reached out to Jen Sharp, and she's actually going to help me with this case because she's very good with some of these cases, especially with the research. So, but I told her I was going to do an interview. If y'all didn't know about this yet, Debbie was found nude and basically hugging a tree and nude, hugging a tree, and burned. He said, if one wanted money, why was she nude? Right. So as I was reading about Debbie beforehand, allegedly there's a lot of questions now about the daughter and the husband. She did get married in 2013. I know some were saying they couldn't find the date, but again, Kathy Joe hooked me up and found that date for me. But let's just seriously do this brief intro. I mean, to die in the way that she died is so horrific. I was telling Amber and the other girls about it, and Jack's like, I can't even. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I got to go down to where. So there was some interesting stuff in criminality. Correct me in chat too if you know something I don't, because this is new to me of today. Here is something that just came out. In 2020, she came out. Look at this. This is her. She came out with these pictures on social media saying she had a black eye, and it says that she took a fall. Dude, that is one major, major fall. She claims she face planted on the sidewalk of December of 2020. This is long before she went missing, mysterious circumstances, 60 miles from her home. Could she have fallen? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, there is no record of any domestic calls involving her husband at their address. Now, a former Florida forensic pathologist said the root of injuries could be identified in general terms consistent with a fall. I don't know. I just don't know. So that's that part of it. Criminality, yeah, it's wild. I do too, Glitter. I do too. I mean, so typically, let's think. If you're falling flat, I would think there'd be some scrapes on your nose if you fell on a sidewalk, because I'm not gonna lie, I've done it before. And it's usually, and I was thinking when my son fell off his scooter on a sidewalk once, and it was like he did scrape up one eye, but it was like because your cheekbone hits first, but his nose inevitably got the brunt of it, you know? I don't know. It's a hard stretch. Okay, so now let's go to what we know. I found an article on this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a really, I don't know. Exactly, glitter. Well said. Yep. All right, hold on. I got to go down to. All right, here's what we know about it. Yeah, to not have any of your forehead. I mean, she had some right here, but it's a pretty like what's the word? It's like what do you call it? Just right there. I can't even remember. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Okay, so here is where she was found around this tree. It's absolutely awful. It says that here's what we know. She was a 59-year-old resident. She did work in real estate as a front office manager. She has no history of mental illness. She had a bad back, and she couldn't walk far on foot. She was employed, like I said, by the realty for front office manager. She had a share. Now, I want you to hear this. She had a shared Facebook account with her husband. Now, a lot of people have shared Facebook accounts. It's kind of, like a way to get, hey, Kate does crime. Well, good. You can help us too. It, yeah, I know, right, Brenda? Exactly, criminality. Exactly, Brenda. So, my train of thought. So a lot of people do have the combined social media accounts for people that like, they want to stay safe, they want to guard their heart, all of that stuff, or, but it is said in some cases, I have known people that have a shared Facebook account because of like a controlling spouse. That is not, that's not in the case. But exactly, Amber, there are. Exactly, Boyd. She had a scratch the forehead. There are those cases where we see that one is just super controlling. Okay. So that I hadn't seen that before. That just caught me by surprise. Okay, so she went missing September 10th from Athens. Her daughter Amanda Bearden, which we're going to get to her, told investigators that her mother's car was in the shop at the time and that she left home in a rented Chrysler Pacifica carrying only her license and debit card. So what I will say about that is like I only sometimes carry my phone, which I keep my license and debit card in. So that's not really that huge of a deal to me, unless she was known to carry a purse, which she probably was, because most women do. I just choose not to if I don't have to. Um, So it says in the afternoon on September 11th, Habersham County deputies and Tallulah Falls Police Department responded to the area on Georgia Highway 15 in Clarksville where her car was reported. Okay, so it was reported September 11th. He found the car parked in an apparent pull off that led to an old logging road. It said the car was in the same spot at around 5 p.m. the night before. Okay. And it's ordinary for cars to pull over in that area. The car was unlocked and empty. And it said, okay, so is it drug related? Well, now what is this? A Habersham County Sheriff's Office report said the investigation indicated the incident was drug related. Now I don't buy it. It's not known if drugs were involved and which parties were buying, selling, or trafficking drugs. Nah, I don't buy that part at all. Oh, here we go. Duh. Read this, Parker. Why didn't y'all tell me about this? I didn't know this was out there. Why can't I scroll down? Here's the affidavit. Let's read that. Let me make sure I didn't. Yeah. So, exactly. Very true. Brenda, good call. Unless that was her way of asking for help. So, daughter and boyfriend moved back from Maryland to Georgia 2 days before she goes missing. The daughter definitely has a criminal history. So here's the affidavit. I didn't even know this was out. Well, perfect. Okay. It says, we know on September 11th, blah, blah, blah. We've got all that part. Um, Sergeant Neal said circumstances of the missing persons incident and informed that they had been attempting to ping her phone throughout the night. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just got to tell my son to stop yelling for my daughter. I had to give him a talk to. Yeah, let's read that affidavit because I had no idea this was out yet. Okay. So it says they had been trying to ping her phone through the night. Johnson also advised Sergeant Neal that the last communication from Collier was to her daughter. Wow. He advised that Collier, which was Debbie, had used Venmo to send approximately $2,300 to her daughter. The interesting part about that, it wasn't just $2,300, it was like 2345 or something odd, like right in a row. With a message that stated something to the effect of, "They won't let me go. There's a key to the house underneath the flower pot." Interesting. Sergeant Neal's arrival, he observed the vehicle parked in what appeared to be a pull-off that leads to an old logging road, which we just heard about. Sergeant Neal was notified by Foster that he had observed the vehicle in the same spot at approximately 1700 hours, which is 5, and it wasn't a big deal because vehicles routinely pulled off. The vehicle was unlocked and unoccupied. Foster also stated that he walked into the woodline a short distance to see if he could immediately locate Collier, but was unable to do so. He then requested Lee Arundel Correctional Facility or Institute K9 to en route the scene. So he brought the canines out. Short time later, dispatch informed Neal that Lacey wasn't able to respond due to the unavailability of the canine and was advised that GSP Aviation was en route. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay, listen to this. Well on scene, awaiting the arrival of Forrester, Collier's daughter, Amanda Bearden, arrived on scene in a hysterical state. Bearden began screaming that the vehicle belonged to her mother. Bearden was notified by Athens Clarke County PD that the vehicle was being pinged by Sirius and provided her with the approximate location of the latest ping. So then that's probably why she showed up. They spoke briefly with Bearden, asking general questions in relation to her mental, like Collier's mental state, briefly about her medical history. Bearden advised Sergeant Neal and Foster that her mother did not have a history of any mental health issues and denied any suicidal tendencies. She just stated her mom had a bad back and couldn't walk far. Let's see. So when Neal and Foster, so the canine did come, and they told the sergeants to stay at least 25 to 30 feet ahead of him while he scanned the woods. It says, as Forrester proceeded southeast through the woods, Forrester called out to Sergeant Neal that he had located an item. They approached a red tote bag laid on its side and up near an uprooted tree. Oh my gosh. At the root ball of the tree, Neal observed what appeared to be the remains of a fire. Oh my gosh. As Neal approached the fire, he looked further down the embankment and observed what appeared to be a partially burnt blue in color tarp. As he looked further down the embankment from the tarp, he observed a nude female laying on her back. Oh my gosh. Grasping a small tree with her right hand. Neal approached the female, immediately observing her to be obviously deceased and identifying her as Collier. Uh, Collier's remains to be apparently burned with what appeared to be charring to her abdomen. Oh, okay, hold on, let's stop there so I can catch up. Hey, Sleuth Mom, we got to do a big live on this criminality with you, Kate, Jen, all up here. Sorry, y'all, that is really horrific. I'm gonna go on, but I just exactly, Brenda. She may have posted it in case husband could be. I mean, I just It's hard. It is brutal. And yes, Beatlemaniac. It's just one of those situations where it takes you a minute because you're like, it's one thing to murder somebody. Hey, S. Hockett, but charring to her abdomen. I mean, this is very personal. I don't buy the drug thing. This is very personal. Wow. Okay. Whew. Ah. Obviously, they went to the car to make the appropriate calls, got the crime scene undone, and it just says that they requested whatever they did for, get it. So, how is Venmo here? Oh, okay, so here, how is the Venmo connected? So this we know her daughter said she got a transfer that said they are not going to let me go. Love you. There's a key. House in the blue flower pot by the door. Look at this. So Steve Collier pays the daughter the 23.45 or whatever it was. That is not her. So how do I explain this? That is again, that's his name. That's the husband's name. So either so maybe she had a history of using this, but that's very bizarre. Technically, I mean, they must have had, hey, Jen, they must have had some sort of, like for them to say it was her, interesting. But again, she's using his Venmo, which, okay, I get it, but we're talking mutual Facebook account and his Venmo. I'm just saying, sounds like we might have some control issues, but anyways, so she pays them. Okay, so it's 23.85. That is such a bizarre number. Based on previous transaction, Debbie may have had access to the Venmo account. Okay, so we don't even know for sure that it was her. Obviously, we're guessing because, of the message. There's a key to the house. Okay. Investigators had not shared information about a suspect or person of interest as of September 22nd. On Wednesday, they did issue several search warrants at locations directly tied to the victim because the daughter has come out and said they feel like they are criminals because everyone is, uh, you know, coming and taking their phones and all this stuff. There was one, somebody said the Daily Mail or something. So this is the thing that, so here's what a criminal profiler said about the case. I don't want to miss anybody in here. Yeah, right. What kind of kidnapper is like, first of all, okay, I've had enough of stupid criminals because we've got Pookie with the sandals, and now, apparently this criminal says, hey, Debbie, go ahead and use your cell phone, Venmo your kid the money, and then I'm going to go ahead and burn you to death and then tie you to a tree. Yeah, no, exactly, Kate. She could have texted her daughter, but she Venmos the money unless she's Venmoing, unless the daughter or the husband or somebody, hey, Jameson, somebody directly tied to this is trying to set up that whole drug scenario, which you are not going to convince me it's a drug scenario unless I see evidence. Jen, I was saying that we need to like do a big live about this here, like after we've investigated a little bit, where it's like you, criminality, Kate. I don't know if she was burned alive. I don't know if they've said she's burned alive. It says there's char. It looked like it started from her stomach, but she was definitely burned. Now, I read a different article. It said, and maybe this is what I'm about to show you. that it looked like a very violent SA assault. So actually, it's in this article, I believe. And I'm thinking that even makes it more horrific. I gotta find. I think this is it. So this is a criminal profiler. I just want to get to. Here we go. All right. So you've already heard about the date. Detectives have served several search warrants to identify a person of interest. I think they have an idea, but we'll see. Her murder, according to a criminal profiler and psychotherapist with experience interviewing serial killers, shows signs of a possible repeat SA offender, but could also be the work of a budding serial killer. That is horrifying. This has all signs of an SA attack and a volcanic rage, John Kelly told Fox News Digital. I have to think he was trying to cover his DNA. Dear Lord. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing is for certain yet, he noted, but additional information could give more clues. But somebody said something in chat about his credibility. I think it was Brenda. Does anybody know? No, exactly, Glitter. Hey, Jen. Jen, oh, I think I emailed you back. Maybe I didn't, but I completely understand where you go. Don't I get it. These are hard cases. Somebody Brenda's put in here, I believe, that something about his credibility. So I'm not sure um, you know, much about this guy. So where did I go with this? The daughter claims it was unusual, obviously. Well, I would think so. All right, hold on one second. There was another thing I wanted to read to you guys. I'm going to guess then she was attacked, but we'll see. This type of work is not usually done by women. I'm not saying it couldn't be done by a man and a woman, a team, but unless there was a hefty insurance policy or something, why not just kill her? Why you got to burn her? Well, I mean, but if they were just after her money, why would she be naked? Hmm, that's not the article I wanted. Hold on one second. Here we go. This is what I wanted. The red tote may hold some. Yep, absolutely. I know, Jen, but I know you're here and I get it. It's very hard. It's very difficult. Like when I was just reading this affidavit, I was like, I had to take a second. Um, Here's the thing from the daughter. Okay, this tells a little bit more about. No, no, that's not what I wanted. There we go. So it says that family members of the murdered Georgia mom, Deb Collier, have had their phones confiscated by police and feel like they're being looked at as suspects, her daughter's boyfriend told the Post on Thursday. Well, I'm sorry about that, but uh, we know that she was found naked and said, we know that she said all that, blah, 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 what she did. So this is her. Bearden and the boyfriend said the family has given scant details. Like basically the police. They haven't really told us nothing. They've interrogated all of us. The people who are closest to her are kind of looked at as suspects right now. The cops have been in possession of Bearden's phone along with his own. Well, sorry. It's weird, he said. I feel like the sheriff's department may have some leads, but they won't tell us anything. Bearden's Bow said so this is what I wanted to get to. Bearden's Bow said the couple moved to Athens from Maryland just 2 days before Collier vanished in a rental car with her driver's license and debit card. Her own vehicle was being repaired after an accident. He says, this is the boyfriend, we came back Thursday. Her mother brought us lunch Friday, and then Saturday as she went when she went missing. And this is the husband. Am I showing y'all the screen? Nope, I'm completely not even showing you guys the right screen. How about I actually give you the right screen so you can see what the husband looked like? I'm a hot mess. So this is her husband that they married. They married in 2013. The big dude. He told the cops he last encountered his wife at 9 p.m. the night before her disappearance and didn't see her leave the following morning because they sleep in separate beds due to his snoring. Okay. I mean, until my husband got his sleep apnea machine, I'd kick him to the curb a lot just because of his snoring. But so I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Okay. It's not that uncommon. But a neighbor told the Post, however, on Wednesday that she heard commotion coming from Collier's home the night before she vanished, and the family frequently engaged in screaming and fighting. Well, then, the killer attempted to burn her corpse about 100 yards off the side of the highway. Oh my God. And this is the daughter. Mm. Her abdomen was what showed the real signs of charring. Her daughter basically watched the mother's remains being pulled up. So here's some things that somebody put, and I'm just going to read these to you. Let me catch up here. Yeah, Sally, stage crime scene. Um, yes, Brenda, that's funny. So yeah, I actually was just thinking that, like, highly possible, Amanda. I get nerve pain at night and my hubby be moving away and it serves me while I'm trying to sleep, so I go on the couch. Jameson, that's what I wondered too. So that criminal profiler did say it looks to be very violent, like that would lead them to SA. So exactly, Jen, exactly. So somebody did say and did some research and posted this, I think it was on Reddit, which, but this is pretty verified. No evidence of suicide. So these are some of the facts. We know she wasn't suicidal that we know. No evidence of a kidnapping. I mean, she did drive away in her rental car. Um, Neighbors did know about the confrontation the night before. And when this person was around, whoever, wow, okay, I did not know this. So there was a person that came around on the weekends to visit, and they would fight. Her husband and daughter claim they hadn't seen her since the day prior and don't mention this person that she argues with to police. That be immediate motive, person of interest. Um, Neighbors have said that the couple was reclusive and non-sociable. The person they speak of visiting on weekends could easily be her daughter, but they wouldn't know that not talking to them, just a woman. Her bank account was emptied, so that's why her bank account was emptied to her daughter. And the text, they won't let us go, to set up a motive, because why would somebody kidnap her, allow her to send all the, well, we said that. The neighbors have commented on the bottom of the article that uh, there's a reason we're keeping quiet. So the neighbors are also saying there's a reason they're keeping quiet. They weren't sociable, and they shared a Facebook account. He had a Venmo that she used, which tells me he probably only let her use his. Yeah, the boyfriend and the daughter. I was trying to think. So, okay. So somebody, Kate, maybe you know, that must be stepdad. Okay, yeah, because it's a different last name. I was like, well, is it his daughter and she's the stepmom? But no, it's the other way around. So, like, this is horrific. So we've got a criminal profiler who says it's potentially a serial killer. But I think that's just being taken from the shape her body was found in. The boyfriend and daughter moved back 2 days before, but apparently there was a woman that would visit on the weekends, or someone that would visit on the weekends, and they would always fight. If it was her daughter, I mean, so here's the deal. If it was, I don't think it was drug related. Yeah, exactly, Jen. This doesn't sound like It just doesn't sound like that. I don't get this vibe at all. Exactly, Kate. It's way, way too personal. This is very personal. But it almost screams of somebody very like novice, because like they're trying to set it up and they're trying too hard to set it up. That's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask. Possibly Amanda, Kate, was, does daughter have a drug history? And because that would be, I mean, if mom constantly gave her money, you could see what, or she had a meth problem or was an addict and kept showing up at the house to, and they were fighting over her addiction. That would make sense. Sally, the neighbors have said, I believe there's one neighbor said it was a woman, and then one said it was just a person, but they would frequently argue on the weekends. And then allegedly the husband and Debbie argued the night before. She was Kate. Okay. So that's kind of what I think, Sandy. I think they're trying to set up, if it wasn't, if her husband didn't have anything to do with it, I would think that possibly they're trying to set him up. I just, could a daughter, I mean, I guess anybody could do anything. I mean, that's such a personal, horrific thing to do. Or did somebody do it that the daughter paid $2,385 to do it? Really, Jen? That's awesome. Yeah, Kate, find out, because like I said, we got to do this huge live. I It's just maddening to me that, yes, Kate. So the boyfriend says that it's not right because they're all being treated as suspects, and they took Amanda's phone, that they still have Amanda's phone. He didn't say if they still have theirs, but he specifically said they still have Bearden's phone, which is the daughter's. And so that tells me they found some things. That's right, Sally. There was that. Yeah, I mean, this is just in such a horrific way that. So a couple things I want to know is if she has money, and if she has a life insurance policy, and who's the beneficiary of that. I mean, I can't believe that she'd murder her mother over $2,300, but I guess stranger things have happened if you're addicted to meth or something. But, and I'm not saying I rule the husband out either at all, but I don't totally, I don't know. Like, why would he wait all these years? I don't know. That's just, something's just weird. This is a really wild case. Kate, that's possible too. I think the life insurance policy is going to be huge. And you're right, if the husband did it, it would be, yeah, I don't think so either, Jameson. If the husband did it, it would be more of a fit of rage type of thing. And like somebody trying to cover it up to make it look like, you know, it's just, I mean, that's just a really horrible, horrible, horrible thing. I mean, killing anybody, but in this manner. I don't know. I don't get, maybe I'll be wrong. I just don't get serial killer type of vibes from this. Exactly, Jen. It sounds very close, very personal, like very angry, angry. And I've never been on meth, but I mean, I would assume it would make you way out there. Like, this is gonna be a really weird question. Somebody that knows anything about meth, even if you didn't do it. Um, that's what I was wondering. Does it make you void of like caring, like when you're high, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like somebody could do something like that if it was a daughter and just not care. I think so too, Jameson. That's true, Sandy. And how do they know? They don't even know that that was really Debbie that sent that money, other than the fact of that cryptic message of they won't let me go. But it came from the husband's account. A lot of energy. Really, Jen? Okay. Really, Kate? Wow. Huh. Something's weird, though. Something is weird because I guess somebody would do it over drug money unless it was in a rage and they did it and then they were like, what did we just do? Oh, okay, Kate. I had neighbors that did. Wow, Sally, that's awful. Um, I wanted to make sure I haven't missed anything. That's pretty much all the info on her that I have so far. It's not Jen? Okay. I don't even know what to think. Really, Kate? Y'all see this? Amanda, so she's been arrested for meth and she's also been arrested for family battery. And if she's the woman that's been coming on the weekends to fight and has been fighting, my guess is probably over the drug addiction thing. It is highly possible. Oh, okay, Amanda. Yeah. That like mom said, is it Jen? Wow, it's Coke on steroids. Holy cow. Mom said, like, I'm done giving you money or something. And she flipped out. And the boyfriend probably has no ties to mom. I mean, he just came with her, but they didn't even live in the same state. Um, so I would be interested. I'm gonna find out if the daughter's a stepdaughter or a daughter. Like, not that you're not, but you get what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, Boyd Mama, okay. Several battery charges, drugs, probation violation, criminal trespassing. Oh my goodness. Well, it does sound like, I mean, law enforcement is keeping Bearden's phone for a reason. because she's not speaking. The boyfriend spoke, not her. Yes, Sandy, let's see pictures of her and her daughter. Let's see if there's any. Holy cow, Kate, that's nuts. I want to see if her daughter has Facebook. Um, Amanda? Probably taken down by now. I'll have to look into it. I can't. I'm trying to see if I can even find a picture. Nope. That's what I'm wondering, Kate. And I think, I mean, if you're an addict, you get like really angry, especially if somebody cuts you off from finances. But I don't know. False report, really, Kate? Well, I'm actually glad you were able to kind of share that with us, so Jen, because I was just wondering, because I've never done it, like if how it makes you. But now that you say, it's like coke on steroids. Holy cow! Well, now I'm going to be up all night investigating this. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to hop off of here because I took a melatonin before this live. What was I like thinking? And I'm going to start slurring words even more here soon. Party drug, Jen? Okay. Um, but I'm gonna get with Kate and Jen and Criminality and see if we can do a live where we do it. We all come together and like really deep dive this case because I think they'll find who did it rather quickly. I hope. I thought they would find Suzanne quickly and stuff, but Morphew, but they haven't. But all right, y'all. Well, I will talk to you later, and I'm gonna get going on this case now. All right, guys. See ya. Thanks.